That is it though. That's daytime, you know. It's a little small, but still it's pretty jamming. I like it. It looks good. And best thing is functionality, you know. Sitting in traffic, this thing is gonna very much prevent heat soak. I don't have to sit in traffic very often. What's up, kitty? But for those who do, this is a great idea. You know, it's obviously not gonna be something that you're gonna want to ride around with during rain season, but they might you might be able to buy like an end cap and just slap the end cap on the PVC on the inside whenever it's raining. I did build mine at a slant, so it's actually slanted down from the inside of the vehicle coming out. It slants down, so that kind of, I'm hoping, is going to keep the water, if it's heavy water, it'll maybe run back out, especially if you're not moving that fast. And there's a bit of a gap in between the filter and this, so any water that does get through is going to probably run down if it's super heavy water and just drop out of the vehicle. Or, you know, misting definitely could happen. This thing's not gonna, you know, it's not a vacuum cleaner. It's not gonna suck water up into it like that. I'm not gonna be, you know, going full throttle in the rainstorm. You know, it's just, you know, you don't do that. So anyhow, I think everything will be cool. I'm really gonna enjoy this, and let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. This time what we're doing is we're making a velocity stack. This is gonna be for the intake. It's just to the air filter. It's going to provide extreme fresh air. You know, the higher speed you're going to go, the more fresh air you're going to get. This is going to be great, I think. It is going to go right through the headlight. So let's see how this works out. We're going to use some PVC pipe, 2-inch PVC. I believe that PVC is measured inside diameter. So I think I'm going to use a 2.5-inch hole saw. That's going to be cut straight through, and we're going to, I've seen people do this, just installing straight PVC, but I want to kind of trumpet it, you know, make it a velocity stack, see if that works any better, see if it looks cooler, what's going to happen. So, all right, let's get started. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to bend that PVC. We're going to heat it up, and then we're going to watch it expand. We're going to form it. I'm going to put it over a glass bottle. I got some glass bottles here. Spares, you know, old alcohol bottles, wine bottles, things like that. You know, I'm not sure. We're just any kind of glass bottle. I'm sure it'll work just fine. So let's get started. Let's start rolling this. All right, so got the bottle that I decided to run with, and we got our PVC. Gonna slide the PVC down the neck of the bottle like so. Got this gun here from Ace Hardware. 1,000 degrees. Let's see how this works out. I'm sure it's gonna be just fine. It's a good idea to first heat the inside of the PVC. Get the inside nice and warm, and then we'll attack the outside. It should make it pretty pliable. You want to point the gun towards the center of the pipe. You don't want it to collapse in on itself, so just try and heat the edges. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do with the headlamp is already remove the bulb. Now what we got to do is we got to cut out our circle. We're going to use a hole saw. I got a 2-inch hole saw. Sorry, 2.5. We're going to run a 2.5-inch hole saw. That is going to make life hella easy. I don't have the drill bit in there because there's no point, because there's nothing for me to drill. So I'm doing this without the drill bit in the center of the hole saw. If the drill bit was there, or if there was a hole there, maybe I would use it, but since there's not. So you can even do this in reverse. That way it doesn't snag. This is plastic, you know, this hole saw is for wood and steel. So this is plastic, so I can just do this in reverse. That way it doesn't snag and it just literally tears at the plastic. So don't go super fast on the trigger. You know, light trigger work, you know, so speed, keep the speed of the blade down kind of low and just apply a lot of pressure. Seems to work just fine for me. I also went in reverse, guys, so you know, I went in reverse with that. I did not spin the blade to the right as if to dig into it. I went in reverse, cut it just fine. I didn't want it to snag and pull and break anything and create any kind of issues, so that worked great for me. Next, what we're going to do is, there's a piece of glass on the inside of this headlight right here. Now that glass spreads the beam of light out a certain direction, how the manufacturer wanted it to, so we could actually see. Well, obviously we're not going to be running that high beam headlight anymore, and I am not that great at removing the seal around this piece of plastic. I'm too worried I might damage it. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack that glass. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to crack it, we're going to break it into some pieces, and we're going to remove it. So I'm going to use an extension for that, and I'm going to use a hammer. Extension and a hammer, and away we go. So they say. Boom. There's the bottom piece, and the top piece, and there's quite a few pieces. So let me go ahead and dump that out. Alright, so I got that trash emptied out of it. Now, no more glass. Super reflective, man. If you took that glass piece out and put some HIDs in there, nobody would ever be able to see you. Like if you just wanted to do that as a mod for your high beams, that way when people piss you off and just turn your high beams on, they wouldn't, you know, you'd probably cause some car accidents. Jeez. Anyhow, next what we're going to do is drill out the front. This is the scary piece, because once the lens is done, it's done, man. So, and you know, if you go too small, like I'm going to run a 2.5, I think it's going to be best instead of the 3. The 3 I'm not really super impressed with, you know, and the 2.5 at least, that might give us what we need. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. I don't think it will, because I'm going to need to get an angle. So probably what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flatten this out now. Gonna stick this through here and kind of see where we want to be. Know what I mean? Looking like something about right here. I'm gonna go right there. Just gonna call it. We're gonna eyeball it. Let's go ahead and drill through. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff in the headlight. We got to get that out. Shake it on the ground. Best way to do it. No, just kidding. We're going to blow some air in there. See if third time's a charm. More angle, more angle, more angle. Oh, shit. All right, come on. Let's get this thing back in there for that perfect fit. That's pretty close. It's probably about as good as it's gonna get for me. That's a pretty close fit. All right, so now that we've got the proper angle cut into the PVC pipe, we're gonna flare this tube. We will now make the velocity stack, turn it into a trumpet. Let's do it. Got this thing all cleaned up. I'm happy with the final piece. Looks pretty good. Now I'm using some acetone. Get off all this because that looks cheap. This is actually facing straight up. I didn't really think about this when I was making it. So this faces straight up. I'm using acetone. Get off these letters. It'll be great. All right, now we're going to install a little weather stripping in the back of this. Kind of create a seal. And that's basically it, guys. Right there. We got us a trumpet style intake velocity stack, man. That's gonna add some of them horsepowers. Nah, just kidding. But you know what? If you're the type of person that has to drive your car and it's, you know, hot out, you're sitting in traffic and whatnot, this is definitely gonna prevent heat soak. This is an inlet of very fresh air. Very, very fresh air. This is going to allow, you know, ambient air to come in whenever the engine under hood temps are just climbing and climbing if you're sitting still. And when you're doing pulls, mad cold air is going to be rushing in. I use some weather stripping behind this. That way it's not siliconed in and permanent in case I have to remove it for whatever reason. Maybe in the future I might find something that I want to change or update. So I didn't want to glue it in and it be a permanent fix. So like everything else in the world on a vehicle, it's held in with a clamp. You know, I just squeezed this clamp around. I pulled it through tight as I could and tightened this clamp down, and this clamp is going to hold it in. It's nice and steady. It's permanent. It's not going anywhere. You know, it's great. So now I can remove this. It's serviceable and it looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. All right, so let's get it put in the car, see what it looks like. Nice. All right, this thing's totally installed. It took me, honestly, 3 different attempts to find the proper shape, and I ended up having to cut the PVC prior to flaring it before making the bell mouth, you know, opening, and that made it a lot easier for me. I wish I had like 2.5-inch PVC if they make that. I'm not sure if they do or not. I could only find 2-inch and then 3-inch at the hardware store. And 3-inch would have worked, but not with the velocity stack style. It would have had to just been straight pipe. It would have been way too difficult. It would have actually been too big, covered up the whole headlight. It wouldn't have looked right. This looks really nice, but yeah, a little bit bigger, like a 1/2 inch would have been perfect for me. Still, feels like the air flows right through this thing great. You know, I've tested different ones in front of a fan, and I think that it actually does work in comparison to just a straight pipe. So I think this is going to be a great thing. Can't wait to run some data logs on it and see if it does help out or not. What my ambient temperatures are going to be and whatnot. The air intake temperatures, sorry. So stay tuned for that. We'll run some reviews on it, see how it works out.